Hey, welcome everyone today. This is the first podcast of my new show, Canadian Expat, where I'll be talking with amazing people like who I've got on today. Sergiy, which I love because my name is Serge. So I'm not sure if I'm saying, I'm going to call you Sergio because you're currently in
Yes,
Spain.
please.
So no
Yes.
Sergiy, no
Okay.
Sergio like me, Sergio. Sergio and Sergio. And his lovely wife, Alla, the team at Enso Team Realty. We're going to
Correct.
get to know a lot about them today and in future podcasts. And I've invited them because we met on a similar Facebook group. We're all passionate about moving to Spain or to Europe in general. And these two have done it. So I'm going to ask them, first of all, tell me a little bit about yourselves. Who is Enso Team Realty? Give us like a little snippet of who you guys are.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having us today. My name is Alla and
I'm Serge.
Serge, as you already
Sergio.
Sorry.
Used to be
Yes.
Serge, now I'm
Yes. And we are from Toronto. Originally, we're from Ukraine, but we used to live in Toronto since 1999.
Okay.
And 2 years, actually, this month, 2 years ago, we moved to Spain from Toronto. And we decided on that move long time ago. We always dreamed of kind of semi-retired, early retirement, or just move somewhere south, close to the beach, close to the sea, warmer than Toronto. So
that's not hard to do, right?
yeah, exactly. Because we originally from Ukraine, so it's similar to Toronto. And we kind of get tired of long winter, and we decide to move to beautiful Spain, as you can see on our background.
I love how you just say that. We just decided to move. I'm sure it wasn't as easy as just saying that.
Absolutely.
It was probably a journey that involved to get there. So,
Yeah.
like, had you visited
many
Spain
years of
before, or
planning.
sorry,
Yeah.
Sergio?
It was many years of planning and searching and doing research and preparing for it. It only sounds easy,
Yeah.
but obviously there was lots of work and efforts.
Yeah, you guys are the overnight success. Oh, they just picked up and went, and they did it. But I'm sure it was a lot more than that. Had you visited different parts of Spain before or Europe?
So they
We came on a few trips here.
it was a crazy part of our decision and journey, kind of, because we've been visiting a couple of times. We visited Mallorca, and right before COVID, we went to Barcelona, actually on scouting trip, exploring trip at that time. And in that time, we decided that Barcelona won't suit us.
For a number of reasons, we decided that area is not for us.
Gotcha. So you were doing your checks, seeing where Mike's, you had idea, Spain is our destination. Let's start with Barcelona and check that out. And then boom, COVID hit. And I think you said 2 years ago you moved. So that was kind of near the end of COVID, right?
Exactly. And yeah, and that's where the crazy part starts, because so we had kind of idea what does Mallorca look like, Barcelona looked like, and that's it. We didn't have time to explore anything else. But during COVID, we decided, okay, we're gonna move.
Gotcha.
So all our research, actually, we did online, and it's been
How
challenging.
was that? Tell me how it was just researching online and not having someone to talk to.
Well, we talked to people.
Yeah.
But not in person, through the Zoom calls and everything. And we talked to our friends who's been here. We talked to people who actually lived on Costa del Sol at that time and asked for their opinions. But unfortunately, we did not have a chance to come here in person and check in person.
I think I'm already thinking of questions to ask you on maybe a future topic where, you have a wealth of experience of all the stuff you had to go through to get there. But today, I want to focus on, okay, you didn't just move to Spain and just retired and had cocktails on the beach. You decided to
Yeah,
do
I would
something
love
there.
to.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about what you actually do in Spain now.
Actually, so that's actually we started a company here, Enso Team Realty. We doing real estate, and actually, or all our experience, all that journey lead us to do that, to create this company. And because of our experience, I've been doing real estate in Toronto for quite some years, and Serge was in construction, and our son, who recently joined us, he has education in construction as well, and years of experience as well. And yeah, and with all this combination of our journey, struggle, not always sun and flowers, and knowledge, that lead us to create our company.
And so Enso Team Realty is now a family business.
It's a boutique style family business,
Okay.
which is actually we created because of the challenges and that we went through during our journey and researching. So that was our idea of creating some kind of boutique style one-stop shop for Canadians, North Americans,
Okay,
because
gotcha.
we can provide services, not only finding and searching for properties. It's from the beginning, like exactly like we did, from the selling our house in Toronto to packing our stuff, packing our furniture, car, and moving this to Spain.
Yeah.
To the obtaining the opening the visa, getting NAE number, which is required for purchasing a property, opening banking account, and everything in between. So that's kind of our idea.
So are you doing that with people that come over? You walk them to the bank, you get them to the NIE, or do you have other groups, like other specialists that you introduce them to? How does that work?
So we kind of already established lots of relationship and created for us that collaborators with our team, kind of all-star team, because we have a lawyer, we have a Hester, or the person who helped us with opening the visa, and we use them all ourselves.
So you
So
know the
we
quality.
know, yeah.
Yes, we verified those people. We know they're good professionals.
They have your stamp of approval.
Exactly.
We did it.
Exactly. We're happy because, as Alla said, not all the people we hired or use services of were as professional, and obviously we don't recommend those people. But these people who we do recommend, they have our stamp of approval, and they're professional and experienced people.
Okay, great. So now you said no.
Yeah, sorry. We've been a guinea pig for that process, kind of, and we went through all of them. And yeah, there was some unpleasant experience, and definitely now we have small group of professionals, but we trust them.
Very good, very good. So what would be your main area? So now this is, you're referring to professionals, but what's your bit? What do you specifically do? You cater to North Americans, you said? So Canadians or Americans?
Yeah.
Anywhere else, or just North America? I mean, just North
That's our
America. It's a
main
pretty big
focus.
place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our main focus because, you know, we lived more than 20 years in Canada, so we understand mentality of Canadians and North Americans, people for that matter, much better than the majority of real estate agents who work here on the coast. So that gives us kind of advantage, and and we're able to better understand the needs of those people, and we can better help them.
Okay. And so are you looking to help, or I know that you have a huge wide range of knowledge on real estate, but going through your website a little bit, beautiful website, by the way, I love it. I love the fact how you talk a little bit about yourselves. Are you looking for helping people specifically find a place for themselves to move with, like, maybe if they don't have a European citizen, to help them get a visa somehow, or is it for investment properties, or is it for both? Tell me a little bit about what you do at Enso Realty, Enso Team Realty.
So depends on the client. We kind of tailored services depends on the client.
Okay,
Either they want to invest, they're not ready to move right now, as our friends in an apartment that we sit in because it's a beautiful view here. And so they're not, for example, they're not ready to move right now, but they want to have a vacation property because they have a
Got
big
you. Okay.
family and kids are coming, they're coming a couple times a year. So that's one of the options, like vacation properties. Other friends or clients, they ready to move, it's their second home or another home,
Okay.
just new home, new life. Or other options, it's an investment.
Okay,
Which works
so if let's say you're working with me. My name is Sergio. I meet you guys and I say, okay, I'm not ready to move yet, but I would like to have a place to go to when I'm in Spain. And we can converse over the Zoom or the internet or whatever. Maybe we schedule a time when I'm actually in Spain to meet with you guys. You take me around. And so what you're saying is, I don't have to be a resident of Spain. I'm allowed to buy a property there. Is that correct? Does it have to be a
Yes,
certain amount?
absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Not only that, you don't have to be a resident of Spain. You can still get a mortgage with your Canadian or American or wherever income.
Okay.
So
A mortgage in Spain, correct?
mortgage in Spain for buying Spanish property, yes.
What about if I'm, I mean, since you have the Canadian perspective, some of us are fortunate to have big enough houses where we have a huge line of credit already on our house here. Can we also use that just to make a direct buy of a Spanish property? Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can
Some
help guide in that.
they use home equity lines of credit to do that.
Okay. So no visas required. I'm a Canadian or an American, and I just want to have a property in Spain. So do you guys also do property management then for when they're not there, or do you hand that off to someone else?
We have partners. We do not do it ourselves, but we have partners managing, like property management companies, who do that for our clients.
Right.
Some of the properties we offer to our clients, they have contracts with big, let's say, hotel chains, and they provide that kind of services for them, which is very convenient and usually even more efficient than hiring a smaller management company.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's few different options
For
those clients.
example, there's right now there's two projects built and managed by Wyndham Hotel Resort.
Okay, that's a very well-known name, right? So
Yes,
Exactly.
especially in Northern America. Like
Yeah,
in-
yeah.
Especially, yeah, Northern American, and they offer really great incentives. And in terms of property management, they can manage for you. It's hands-free investment. You don't have to do anything. You can give them the keys and
just come and enjoy your apartment like when you feel like it. And
Gotcha.
the rest of the times they can rent it out and create some income.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so it's on the coast. I mean, we haven't talked about where I can already hear all the questions coming up from our listeners.
Yeah.
And perhaps before we do the next one, I'm gonna reach out and say, guys, what questions do you want me to ask these two amazing people out over there in Spain? So, but like questions are flooding my head. I get a place with Wyndham, for example, or somewhere else. Like we're not necessarily promoting just one place. We give them the keys, and when I'm not there, they can go ahead and rent it out and clean it up and make sure it's all tidy. But then
Absolutely.
when I'm there, so it's not long-term rentals they're doing like short-term rentals,
they're
week
doing
to week or
short-term.
month to month, right? But when I'm there, that's mine. Is that right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay. And in the meantime, there'll be some way that if they do rent it out, I'd get a small cut of it because they're taking care of most of it. So their property
You
management.
actually, they take a small cut, you get a big cut.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
That's the other way around, yeah. And they send you a statement every month with
Okay.
all the incoming money, all the income, all the expenses, and the balance. You tell them what to do. Normally, they just deposit it to your bank account.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what areas you're talking about, because Spain is a big country. I mean, not as big as Ontario. I don't know. Is it as big as Ontario?
Yeah, definitely not
You
big
know,
as
the thing about Europe, you get in the car, you drive a few hours, you're in another country. In Ontario, you're driving a day and you must suddenly don't exit it, right?
Absolutely. When we first came and people were when we were searching for a property, it was like, oh, it's far because it's 15-minute drive to the beach. I was like, 15 minutes drive. I'm all for it. They actually we are located in area Malaga region, which
Okay.
is Costa del Sol. Well, Costa del Sol. Second name is Costa del Golf because it's probably I never saw amount of golf ball golf resort golf courses. It's close to 70.
It's I think it's already in excess of 70 golf courses in this area.
Okay.
And
So
very high quality, not just the regular ones.
that must be for all the Spanish people. I'm sure that it's the golf courses are for the Spanish people, not for the expats coming to Spain, right?
Exactly.
No, that's why I think amount of expats exceeds the amount of actually Spanish people here on the coast in this particular area.
So what do you love about that area? What brought you there that you think it's just the best place?
I don't want to sound biased.
But
And
but it's the best area in Spain.
exactly.
Period. Enough said, right?
When we used to live in Toronto, I was biased toward Toronto. People are, why you live in Toronto? I was like, I don't know. I don't want to sound biased, but I love Toronto, right? And
okay. But listen,
no, I love Costa del Sol.
It's the best place, but I want to ask a hard question now. If it's the best place, it must not be too affordable sometimes, or maybe correct me if I'm wrong. What's going on there? Is it only the rich that are getting there, or can a middle class family?
Maybe go back to the first question and we'll try to explain why we think it's the best place.
Okay.
Right? Weather is amazing. It's a mild weather. We have a microclimate here on Costa del Sol is outstanding. There's no, unlike the rest of Spain, or like everybody knows Spain is hot. Not as hot here because we have a chain of mountains which protect this area and creates microclimate. So it's not as hot in summer. Hardly ever gets higher than plus 33, 32 degrees. And it's not as humid, surprisingly, as let's say in Toronto. So it feels much better even when it's hot. And it's not cold, and in winter time, it's pretty common to go in a daytime. You can go in your t-shirt and a shorts, like in January.
Only if you want to be seen as a tourist, right?
No, not.
I
Tourists look a little bit different, but yeah.
I have my story. And maybe if I'm technically savvy, I'll pop up a picture of me wearing a scarf and a jacket in Malaga in December, even though the temperature was about 18 degrees, because all the Malaguenos were wearing scarves and jackets.
We have those stories too, because first winter when we came here, I was like, oh, come on, people, why are you wearing jackets? It's 20 degrees. So I was wearing t-shirts and maybe light jacket. This winter, past winter, I was wearing heavier jacket.
There you go.
Exactly.
All right. So the weather's nice. Love it. Perfect. So that's
Amazing.
number one. What else do you want to talk
On average, more than 300 sunny days a year. That's why it's Costa del Sol.
Okay.
Yes.
And what about the living expenses? Is it expensive compared to big cities like Toronto or New York or, wherever?
No, much cheaper than Toronto and New York. This area is more expensive than majority of Spain, yes. Not
Okay.
more expensive than, let's say, Barcelona or Madrid, about the same level, but definitely much cheaper than
Toronto
the
and New York.
big American
Okay.
cities.
All right. So there's this, have you heard of this website? Tell me if you've heard of it and if it's good in your opinion. Website called Numbeo. Have you heard of
Yeah.
that? Is that pretty
Yeah, I would
a
say it's
good, accurate description if
reliable.
someone
Yeah,
wants
it's
to use
pretty
it?
reliable source of information. And
Okay,
like
okay.
I've done my
So
comparison. Yeah.
I'll
Yes.
make sure to put that link because I've used it. I just didn't know how accurate it was, but I'll put that
No, I
in
found
the
it to be
description.
pretty accurate.
Okay, good. All right, so weather's nice, 300 sunny days a year.
Yeah.
Cash flow better than in Toronto or big city. So can a middle class family or how much do you need to live there and buy a place, I guess?
So if we comparing cost
Okay,
of
let's
living,
let's make it specific. A
yes,
family, like you guys are a family with one child?
yeah.
Okay.
Ah,
I wouldn't call him a child.
he's
No,
20,
okay.
so it's-
Sorry, a man. If he ever sees this, I don't want him to get upset with me. But for you, he's always going to be a child, right?
We're adults.
So a
Yeah.
family
no.
with a kid or two kids,
Yeah.
what would it cost them to find a place?
It's again the same I would say in Toronto. It depends on the area,
Mm-hmm.
depends what you want.
Okay.
Because Costa del Sol is in Toronto management, it's not that big, but still it's big.
Yeah.
So you can find places, you can find apartments or townhouses, depends on the area. I would say for apartments you can start from 300
Euros?
thousand euros,
Yeah.
and sky is the limit.
Gotcha.
Yes. So
Some areas are super expensive.
absolutely, Marbella, super expensive, famous celebrity, rich people comes here. So and that's kind of creating the whole vibe of this Costa del Sol. It's different. It's completely different from any other areas in Spain. Yes,
Okay.
it's the vibe is different. The maybe a little bit of culture and lifestyle is different.
Right. So what do you recommend for people if they've never stepped in or they've been there, like how do they know that they're not making the wrong choice? And then 6 months later, oh man, we should have been in Marbella instead or somewhere. Like what would you recommend they do?
What we recommend to our clients, because our clients always compare, let's say, Costa del Sol usually to Costa Blanca.
Okay.
Right? So it's Alicante, Valencia, and Benidorm, that region. And obviously it's all appealing because the prices there, it's smaller.
Prices of real estate is lower, but cost of living does not differ that much.
Absolutely.
What about, would you recommend, this is something I would probably look at doing is rent somewhere for 6 months,
Yes.
work with you guys to figure out, go around and see different places before just, would that be a good idea?
Yes.
Or
That's one of the options. It's
One
a
of
good
the
idea.
options.
At the very least, people should come here
And
for a few weeks, at least live here a few weeks,
an experience, yes.
Yeah.
experience the life, check different areas.
Yes.
That would be
okay. And can
step
in
one.
your sorry to put you on the spot here, I'm just trying to think if I were doing this with you guys, hey guys, can you help me find a rental place for a few months? Is that something you can do, or do I have to work with?
We can do, depends if it's a long term. If you come for a month, 3 weeks, like usually the main client of our clients coming for, let's say, 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
And they spread this months over different areas
Gotcha.
of Spain.
Just to narrow down the area.
So this would be obviously booking or Airbnb.
Yeah. So yeah,
And
so maybe that's better, like either an Airbnb, like you said, or even a hotel might make sense if
your
it's.
hotel
I would
depends.
even say probably Airbnb is better
Yes.
because you get to better experience kind of normal life rather than staying in a hotel when everything is kind of artificial and more.
You get to see the area and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
so
gotcha.
that's what we did when we came right after
When we
COVID
finally had a chance to come here,
in 2021. We actually rented for a month Airbnb, actual apartment.
just a regular apartment in a regular building because we wanted to fill it.
Yeah,
We
okay,
went to the store, we calculated our expenses, how much it cost, average what we would spend on the food. Because
Yeah.
obviously, when you're on vacation, you come and you eat every day at the restaurant, you cannot feel it.
vacation. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
It's a
vacation,
vacation.
exactly.
So that's why we came, obviously, okay, so we go once a week at the restaurant or okay, again, it's not Toronto, so here you would come, even if you live here, you would come and go out often, because
Yeah.
that's the lifestyle. You
Yeah.
have a coffee at the cafe, you have dinner sometimes, but again, after a while, it's gonna be pretty much the same like in Toronto, but it's gonna cost you much less.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So
So if
that-
I'm not ready to get a plane ticket and whatever, but I'm curious to talk with you guys, do you take Zoom meetings and are you able to show people to different places on Zoom, or is it just a discussion? How
No,
does that work?
absolutely.
Absolutely, whatever that what we do, we show people places, we explain the areas. So that's kind of our pre-coming kind of pre-visiting
Yeah.
consultation. So we explain them the area, and when they come, they can put two and two together.
Gotcha. And how much do you charge for that service?
It's as of right now, like we don't, if you buy property with us,
Yeah,
so it's free of
Yeah.
charge. It's more consultation. When you
Gotcha.
need more comprehensive research and like we have to spend more time and do due diligence online, that we do as well, because we have some clients that they cannot come or whatever, or they looking strictly for investment opportunities. So it's more about numbers.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
numbers work, they say, you know, like with Winham, for example.
Yeah.
So numbers work, they know the brand, they know the place, everything else, that's it.
I love this. I mean, I love numbers. I'm a numbers guy. My profession, as you know, I'm a financial professional in Toronto, and I've had experience building plans for clients that are looking to move to, I mean, specifically Spain, but now even more. And one of the things I always try to ask them is to the penny, like, okay, on what date we're not spending money in Canada? And on what date do you think,
Exactly.
how much do you think we're going to be spending in Spain? And how much is that property going to buy? And how much is the cost of moving your stuff in a container? And like every single penny. And then at the end, do we have anything left over just in case it doesn't work out? Because, hey, we're in Europe now. So
Yes.
there's some, so I love numbers. And I'm really on board with what you're saying here. Do your homework, talk with
Exactly.
people like
And
yourself.
actually, it's what you do. It's really important, because people sometimes move to Spain. It's exciting process. It's overwhelming,
Yeah.
but you have to prepare for it.
Yeah.
So sometimes people think, okay, it's not like, because it's our second immigration, right? It's not like we moved from Ukraine to Toronto. So it's easier to find job, even though it's harder now, but still, you
Yeah.
can make money. If something went wrong, you can go find a job and make money. It's a little bit different here. It's not a little bit different, it's actually different here. It's more, you have to carefully plan your finances. It's more for semi-retirement. You can do business and everything else, but you have to plan in advance.
Did you guys have to get a visa? Are you, or as I mean, Ukrainian, Canadian, you weren't just allowed to go there without,
Canadian, for Canadians, the same.
Okay.
You have to get visa. For
Gotcha.
European, like for Romanians, for example, Polish people and everyone.
European Union countries,
Anyone, for any holder of European passport, you don't need any kind of visa.
you can just get off the plane and stay there.
Yeah,
Do you have to
Well,
tell
same with
anybody there? You have to
Canadians, the
tell the
only
local?
limit- Well, same pretty much with the Canadian citizens. The only limit is you cannot exceed 90-day period of staying here. If you plan to exceed that period, then you need some kind of visa.
Even as a Polish or Romanian or whatever, you have to go get a visa?
No.
No.
No, I'm talking for people with Canadian passports.
Gotcha.
yes.
Okay, I understood. Okay.
And-
Americans, Canadians, Ukrainians, whatever.
Yes.
Whatever.
Like if you're not
Outside
European,
European
Outside of
Union, you
EU?
cannot exceed 90-day stay.
yeah.
and even now UK, of course, because they're not part of the union.
And
anymore.
even UK
yes.
now, of course.
Okay, so they can go there, they have 90 days. After that, show us your visa or not, but don't wait till the 90th day to get the visa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of
No.
course. Normally, if you know
So-
you're gonna exceed that period, you wanna get visa before coming here.
Okay, so if I'm a Canadian without any European connection, is there a recommended way for me to get, like, I heard something that Spain used to have, if you buy a big enough property, you get a visa, but they're getting rid of that. Is that the golden visa? Or what is
It is
that?
a golden visa.
Are they still doing that, or?
They're still doing it. The Prime Minister made announcement back in April that they plan to stop that type of visa, but
Okay.
they're still doing it yet because they haven't decided.
Okay, it's not become yet
Or-
law or voted on or whatever.
Not
No,
yet.
it hasn't come through the parliament yet.
Not
so.
yet, but they're gonna vote, I believe in September.
Okay,
Well, that will start
Start
discussion on it,
discussion
and
on
then
September
it can-
9th.
they might modify it, because at the moment, what we're seeing at the moment now, with the purchase of a property, minimum of 500,000 euros, a person can get a so-called golden visa.
okay.
which
Well,
allows
you know,
them to-
there's so much to talk about here, the golden visa, other
Absolutely,
visas,
yes.
what people should do. I don't want to make this overly long, but let's say if people are watching this, are they okay to just reach out to you directly and ask you these
Absolutely.
questions? And
Absolutely.
what would be the best way for them to do that? Email, phone, how do you want to do that?
Pretty
Any-
much anything.
Anything, WhatsApp, email,
Okay.
WhatsApp and email.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a little bit, just send me all where you'd like me to put the information in the comments of this podcast so that people will have exactly where they can go to reach out and ask you specific questions. I'll tell them, say Serge sent you, and maybe they'll get like a free mojito or whatever they
Yeah,
drink in
yeah.
Sangria if they ever meet with
Yeah.
you. You'll take them out for dinner or
Well,
something.
yeah, take it out
Sure.
to dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
joking, you don't have to do that. I'm just,
No, no,
We actually do that.
We do that with many other people who we collaborate with, and I don't see why it should be any different with you.
very
Yeah,
nice. So let's end it off here because I think we've talked a lot. I'd love to have you on for future episodes to talk more about this and
We would
maybe
love
other
to do that.
specialties. You know, if your accountants and lawyers or whatever, if they want to
Yes,
get
we can do
promotion,
that as
let me know. What would you want to end it off with to say, you know, if I'm a Canadian family, American, and I'm looking to move to Spain, what's a couple of things as a, you know, what you've learned, I guess, to think about? What would you recommend?
I would recommend do your homework, connect with right people, because during our journey, even though we have our own experience. I've been realtor in Toronto for many years, right? And I know what to look, let's say, in property, in the areas, how to differentiate property, what to look for in the property itself, or how to research areas. Still, we did some mistakes. And still there's always mistakes, and you have to connect and do your homework, research, and connect with people. And that's
And keep in mind, sorry,
Yeah.
Spanish real estate is very different from Canadian.
Absolutely.
It's not as well organized, it's not as much regulated. So you have to be very careful and do your due diligence and have the right people, on your
And-
side and
There's so much
But-
to talk about, my
totally
friends.
different.
Every time you open your mouth and say something, I want to ask more questions.
Yes,
The one,
because-
I'll be honest, the one thing I noticed, if you go on some Spanish websites to look for properties, I'm really shocked at how staging is not a thing in Spain.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
you see someone's dirty laundry on the bed because they're
Yes.
taking a picture of the bedroom. This is the bedroom. I'm like, okay, you could have
Yes.
put aside the underwear.
Yes, and me doing staging in Toronto because I certified stager in Toronto, and it was shock to me as well. The only nice staging, really good one you can see in the luxury properties.
Yeah.
So, but regular one, they don't bother.
No, hey, it's a house, it's a good location, it's on the beach, buy it, don't buy it, whatever.
So,
Yeah.
so that's why, that's one of the things that you have, that's why you need right people, because you have to be able to see past those pictures and see potential in the properties, right? Because sometimes you can just scroll down because you use, as you mentioned, you saw underwear in the bed or dirty laundry, and you scroll down, but actually that property might be best for you.
Amazing
Right.
tips. I really wish we could talk more, but let's end it there. Thank you so much for taking the time and not,
Thank you.
I mean, it's early in Spain right now. I think we're talking in the morning here in Toronto. You're not even getting ready to go out yet because they
No,
usually.
it's only 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
It's
lots
a
of time.
siesta
So
time.
It's a siesta time, so
Siesta.
everyone
well,
starting
then
dinner around.
thank you for taking time from your siesta time. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Have a
Thank you so
wonderful
much.
day and the weekend, and thank you so much. We'll talk again.
Thank
too.
you.
Take
You
care.
too. Take care.